Welcome. Hey, Katja.
Hello, Kevin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very well. I'm excited about starting week 3.
Okay, week three. What are we going to talk about this week?
Absolutely. Well, in week 2, we asked participants to reflect on intentional content, and they reflected on what best lends itself to flipping, both with creation and curation of materials. But now we want to utilize those to transform the in-class time and what that might look like and progress to a new learning culture.
A new learning culture. What do you mean by that?
Learning culture. Well, I'm still figuring it out. But I would first recommend to check out the Pillar L on
Okay.
the Flipped Learning Network's definition, which says that flipped learning deliberately shifts instruction to a learner-centered approach, and so that they can apply and construct new knowledge.
Okay. So giving students more control themselves and being more autonomous.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you mentioned giving more control, because Jeff made that comment at the end of his video last week that flipping this content intentionally, it makes learning more transparent for the learners and gives more control over how much content they consume and the speed at which they consume that content. So giving learner control is a key issue. And in fact, that's the first thing learners will be doing this week, is reading 2 articles, right, Katja?
Yes, exactly. And one is written by Kevin Coleman. So I think it might be a very interesting article. And the other one?
Well, yeah, and I was specifically thinking about learning culture when I did that with Flip Learning. And the other one's by Dr. Una Cunningham, who is our special guest for week 3. So it's important that participants read that and ask and think of good questions that they can take advantage of the time with the author herself.
Okay. And talking about questions, we also propose to discover, if you don't know it yet, really cool ICT tool, which is Kahoot. Do you know that? It's
Kahoot is amazing.
Yeah, it's about creating online quizzes where students only need a PIN to log in. They don't need an account. So we challenged you concerning Dr. Una Cunningham's article. We prepared a Kahoot for you. For the challenge, you have to download the app, and then you can play the Kahoot to know what you learned in her article. And then what else
Yeah.
do they have to do this week, our learners?
Well, make a lesson plan is the big one. That's the big one. Make a lesson plan. And you made an outstanding lesson plan last year. Do you have any advice for participants?
Oh, I think just thinking really about how students will best learn and how you can change this learning culture. That's what I had in mind when I did the lesson plan. So, and
Yeah.
that they really, really like the lesson also, which is important for me. So if you
Oh,
don't
good.
have time, participants, to make your own lesson plan this week, we propose also some guidelines or some models of lesson plans in our resources.
Yeah. In the lesson plan and lesson plan and ideas folder, there are some templates and some ideas for lessons. But the main thing is that with the lesson plan, you think of how to connect the out of class time with the in class time, because you want to directly build off that content. I had one more tip. If you're really busy or really intimidated by making a lesson plan, maybe you're just starting teaching, use a pre-existing lesson. There are teacher resource books, there are lesson plan books, activity books, and even your teacher's resource guide for your textbook have lessons in them. Look at it with a new eye, and look for what you could flip, and that should take a little bit of pressure off. Or you can make your own lesson and do something completely original.
Exactly. But it's important that you do this lesson plan because you will share it next week. So we really want to know about your lesson plans. We are really interested in that, and we discover all of us new ideas. So really try to do that and to share it next week. And then we come
That's right.
already to the end of our week before we have some extra resources for you, if you have time.
Yep. Yeah, we know people are busy, but we had some other things to share. So there's a couple extra articles in the extra resources, including an article from our moderator, Carolina, about some initial struggles, which we both encountered as well. Changing a new learning culture isn't just like, oh, magic and easy. There are resistance, and it can be challenging at first.
Yeah, and you can feel lonely sometimes as a teacher when you start and try something new. Okay, but
Yeah.
we're sure you will figure it out. And then be prepared for our live webcast on Sunday, 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
CET. Then we have Dr. Una Cunningham. We have the pleasure to have her with us.
Yeah.
And so
she's wonderful to speak with. She's very kind, and I think you guys will very much enjoy meeting her. So
exactly.
don't be
You
shy.
have prepared questions already because you read her article. You did the Kahoot about her article, so you will be ready for the interview. Okay, so let's go and enjoy week number 3.
Have a wonderful week.